I am not a feminist. I'm a Christian, I'm an egalitarian, and I'm a complementarian. That's the topic for today with Saint. And someday I'll come up with a cool little saying. Hey guys, Saint here. I wanted to talk about today why I'm not a feminist and why I have kind of issues with feminism. Before I can do that, however, I need to clarify some things. First off, I'm not a feminist, and I don't label myself as a feminist. It does not mean I hate women. I'm a Christian, I'm an egalitarian, and I'm a complementarian. And let's get into what that means. Because words have meanings. Feminism. And I've left links all below so you can go and read them yourself. Feminism is the doctrine advocating social, political, and all other rights of women equal to those of men. And, sometimes initial capital letter, an organized movement for the attainment of such rights for women. Egalitarianism is belief in the equality of all people, especially in political, social, or economic life, and active promotion of this belief. Now, complementarian, since it comes from the term complement, I figured that was important to put in here. Something that completes or makes perfect, and either two parts of or things needed to complete the whole. Counterpart. Complementarianism, I had to go to Theopedia for this one, is the theological view that although men and women are created equal in their being and personhood, they are created to complement each other via different roles and responsibilities. So before you worry about that, let's get into why really the last part. You've probably never heard of complementarianism. So where this comes from is the fact that God, who transcends gender, created both men and women in his image. God's image cannot be divided into higher or lesser value because all of God is important. All of God is equally, all of his traits, his justice, his wrath, his love, his joy, his whatever, all of his stuff. The fact he cares for us, the fact that he is vengeful, all those things are important and all of them make up who God is. And so when he created man and woman in his own image, then he gave us different traits. Now, because we are created in his image, we have access to all of those things, which is why men can be amazing caretakers and women can be amazing caretakers. Right, but he did create us with separate roles, and these don't necessarily mean gender roles because God created them to complement one another. So, since God transcends gender, it's really humanity that has created the idea of masculine and feminine traits. It's a social construct. I'm just kidding. Okay. So, we created these things. We associate, okay, men tend to do this, men tend to do that, men tend to do this. So these are more masculine traits. Women tend to be like this, women tend to think like this, women tend to do this. So those are more feminine traits. Men tend not to talk about their feelings, women tend to. And so when a guy likes to talk about his feelings, then they are considered to be more feminine, or whatever the case is. In general, though there are always exceptions, men are inescapably different than women. This is evident biologically and genetically. So sexual dimorphism, the fact that there are differences between the sexes, men, as always there are exceptions, tend to be stronger because their muscle structures are different and it's designed to be able to be stronger. Women are designed to be caretakers in the sense that literally their body takes care of the baby fetus, and then when that comes out their body creates nutrition so that they can take care of the baby. Men can't do that, and so there are differences. But these differences are to be celebrated and not prioritized. Not any of these differences are better than the other, and without these differences, we as a society could not exist. If everyone became masculine or if everyone became feminine, we couldn't operate. Now, I differ from stereotypical complementarianism in that I don't believe men and women must strictly adhere to a set of established gender roles and responsibility. Meaning that I don't believe that men are always have to be the providers and women always have to stay at home. I don't believe women should be barefoot and pregnant, and not all complementarians do, but that is a trait typically associated with complementarianism. I do believe, if able, the man should, and this is my personal belief, I do believe that the man should be the one that's out there providing for him. If a woman wants to work, then she can. If she's unable to work and wants to stay at home, then she can do that, and it's up to the man to provide for her. And then she has other responsibilities, because being a mom is a full-time job. While I do have reason to hold the biblical belief that women are not to be head pastors or elders, this does not mean they must inevitably work in children's ministries or be confined to the role of housewife. Although not all complementarians believe in established gender roles, the belief structure does allow for the practice. Socially speaking, though, this is where the egalitarian part comes in. Men and women should have equality of opportunity, not equality of outcome. Equality of opportunity. Women should have access to everything that men have access to. There are always exceptions. So, I don't believe women should have access to men's locker rooms, but women should be able to have their own locker rooms. Women should be able to apply to go to college. They should be able to go to school. If there are men-only schools or women-only schools like they have, that's fine. But in general, women should be allowed to go out there and drive. We're not talking about an Islamic patriarchal state where women are not allowed to drive, they're not allowed to be educated, etc. Because of this, women should not have public subsidies or scholarships for education in underrepresented area. Or should we vote for people based on how many X chromosomes that person has? We shouldn't vote for them because they're a man, we shouldn't vote for them because they're a woman. We should vote for them, we should hire them, we should promote them because of the skills they have. True equality promotes freedom. Equality of outcome does not allow for true freedom because it does not give people an opportunity to pursue what they love to do. Christina Hoff Sommers, based mom, talks about this and about how in more advanced civilizations there is a greater disparity between what men and women do. My family and a number of people in my family, I counted 9 of them in my extended family alone, are teachers, and they're amazing at it, and the majority of them are women. Well, 9 of the people in my family that I was thinking about are women, and if there was a law that said, well, we have to have equality of outcome, so 4 of you must be engineers, the other 3 of you must be in the computer area, they would hate it. That would be so unfair, and that would not be true freedom. So women have the ability to choose what they want to do, and I think they should be able to in the same way that a man should be able to. If in order to have women properly represented, quote unquote, in there, you would have to get away from that freedom, and you would have to make sure that they don't have the opportunity to do what they really want to do. I am not a feminist because I believe in equality of opportunity, not equality in outcome. I am a Christian egalitarian because I believe that all people are equal, regardless of race, creed, color, and gender, and all people have value and self-worth because they are made in God's image. And because of this, they should all have the same opportunities. I hold to many aspects of complementarianism, primarily that God made us different on purpose because he has different roles that he wants us to meet, as well as different strengths that he wants us to have, so that we need one another, so that we can complement each other, and so that when you have 2 people, if they were to get married, and they're working together in their marriage, we see a fuller picture of what and who God is through their marriage. We should be factual in stating the difference in the percentage of males and females who are currently being trafficked. If we're talking about sex slavery, human trafficking, and stuff like that, we shouldn't be fighting just to only have women stop from being trafficked. It is just as wrong when little boys, or even grown men, are forced and sold as slaves, in the same way that it is wrong for women to be sold as slaves. Many modern Western feminists will say that feminism means equality for everyone, and that feminism also helps men. Most of the time they mean that in regards to feminism helping against the mythical patriarchy that's out there to destroy everything and force gender roles on people, whatever it is. But there's a substantial difference between feminism and egalitarianism. Feminism, by definition, focuses on getting the same social and political rights for women which men have. Which means, based on that definition, there is a difference between the rights that men and women have, and what feminism wants to do is it wants to bring women up to the same level. If this is the case, which the definition says that it is, you have to focus on women. It's not about equality, it's about bringing women up. Hence the term feminism. To argue anything different would be to change the definition of feminism and make it closer to egalitarianism. Words have meanings, and because of that, feminism cannot be egalitarianism. If you want to push for equality in both the sexes, if you want to push and say that something is for both men and women to help rid negative stereotypes, negative expectations, then you have to go for egalitarianism. Well, that's it. What do you think? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Leave me a comment. Talk to me on Twitter. If you like the channel, subscribe. Most importantly, thanks for watching, and I hope that this has given you some sort of insight into something and has made you think about something in a new and hopefully different way. I guess my question I'll leave you with is, how do you define yourself? What are you? Let me know in the comments below, what do you consider yourself? I'm a Christian, I'm an egalitarian, and I'm a complementarian. Thanks for watching.